All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on Wlbt Plus First Alert Weather Edition. I'm meteorologist Chase Franks, and I'll be going over all the details of what you need to know about this system. And we'll take it more of a county by county approach. I have plenty of time. Again, if something does fire up, then I'll have to go. And I want to make sure that you know that we're taking this event very serious here at WLBT. And again, there's a lot to talk about regarding the system. So let's start off with what we're currently seeing right now on our live satellite and radar. So you see off in North Mississippi already a couple, really just one tornado warning, a couple tornado possibles ahead of that line of storms. And again, as you all are typing your counties and where exactly y'all are, again, I'll try my best to cover every single county that I possibly can. Again, I can't really get to every single one, but I'll talk to y'all about what you can expect right now and ahead in our foreseeable future. Again, that line of storms is developing, but we're not really focused on the line. We're going to be focusing on what's going to be popping up ahead of that line of storms. So our live satellite radar is showing you that. Here's a look at our live alerts right now. So a tornado watch has been issued for portions of the lower Delta until 1 p.m. today. Now, I want you to be aware that that's for the lower Delta. I think that we'll see a tornado watch issued for us here in central Mississippi and across areas into the metro, back into the south here in the next couple hours. So again, make sure you have ways of staying updated. Here's a rough overview of the day today. And here's where we'll talk about more of a county by county approach. So for your Saturday, widespread severe weather is likely for your day today. Multiple tornadoes, some dangerous, some long track tornadoes is expected for your day today. I want you to be aware of that. I'm taking this language very serious whenever I talk about this, because that's really what we're going to be expecting. I don't want you to be caught off guard and say the weatherman said that it was just going to be bad storms. I didn't know it was going to be this bad. Well, I want you to be aware that multiple tornadoes are expected, some strong, damaging wind up to 70 miles an hour and golf ball sized hail expected. If you live in Madison, Hines, Rankin, Lawrence, Jefferson Davis, Smith, Scott, Leake, Atala, off to the east of I-55 and south of I-20, you need to have your weather guards up. If you are in that level 4 out of 5 risk zone, you can't just sweep this under the rug just because you see that level 5. It doesn't matter if you're in that level 4 or level 5. Every single county, every single one of you is going to be impacted by some strong storms with that capability of producing large and dangerous tornadoes. Humphreys, Holmes, Sharkey, Yazoo, Issaquino, Warren, Madison, Hines, Capaya, Lincoln, Lawrence, Walthall, Pike, Franklin, Adams, Jefferson, Claiborne. I'm covering every single county here to make sure that you know that this system is no joke. It's going to impact everyone. So let's walk you through hour by hour. This is one model's opinion, and then we'll talk about the impacts that you will see one last time, and then we'll talk about the impacts again with the probability. We'll talk about tornado supercells. We'll talk about the Cape Storm energy, the probability of large tornadoes. So time frame. In my opinion, this is kind of the worst time that it can really fire up for us here in central Mississippi. We talked about afternoon storms that always bring big issues whenever we talk about the spring season, and it's looking increasingly likely we'll see a system like that. The past couple ones have been overnight, which has been a good thing. We actually have had less daytime heating play a factor in that. However, everything's lining up for this storm system to bring us massive impact. So if you notice, after about that 10 a.m. time frame, we'll start to see these storms really fire up ahead of that line of storm. So if you look into those little kidney bean shapes, and again, let me try to draw on it here. It might not look the best, but these kidney bean shapes, again, that's not what I wanted to use, but that's fine. That's kind of what we're looking at. So the kidney bean shape of storms, not necessarily the best whenever we talked about high resolution models picking up on that. That's a supercell structure. That means those storms could easily have supercell-like tendencies, and we'll see those pass through. So again, it might not look like much on our futurecast, but we've already seen damaging tornadoes last night in some portions of North Mississippi. So again, I want you to be aware that this is going to be impactful to a good portion of central Mississippi. And if you have friends or family across much of eastern Mississippi, western Alabama, central Alabama, please, if you have friends or family, Meridian, Hattiesburg, Birmingham, Montgomery, off into Demopolis, Cuba. Thankfully, I worked over in Meridian, so I know a lot of these places. I know a lot of these people. I want you to give them a call. Give them a heads up. The one thing I love about Mississippi, and that I truly think that you can't find anywhere else, is that you might not know someone, but you know someone who knows someone. So you who are watching me right now, give them a call. give them a heads up that this system is going to be impactful to them today, because you might be able to save someone's life. I have 670 people watching me right now, but that's only a small portion of the actual people that are going to be impacted by the system today. Please call your friends, call your family, so that in turn they will call their friends and call their family. So I want you to be aware that this system is no joke at all for your day to day. So again, here's a look at the timing. It should push on out by the evening. Thankfully, we are not going to be talking about this into the dark. So this isn't completely in the day for us, and it's going to be something that we'll be able to track. There is a chance that we'll see some showers and storms overnight, but it's very low. Here is the threat likelihood. This goes for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're in that level 5, that level 4. I don't care. This is the threat for every single person here in central Mississippi. Tornadoes are likely. That's our highest threat for the day today. The probability of that, the energy's there, the daytime heating's there. Everything is falling into place perfectly, so that we'll see the likelihood of severe storms, with our biggest threats being tornadoes, damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour, large hail up to golf ball size, and flash flooding. Here's a look at that tornado probability. Again, this is a look at 10 a.m. for areas off to the west of I-55. The threats are their highest it can possibly be. And then I wanted to show you this, that we do have that chance for it to be even higher than the scale goes. So this is a look at noon. Again, we're talking about the highest threat. And now actually I'm going to move over. Meteorologist Inay Scales is joining me here. She just finished the show up, and we're going to be talking about the threats one more time. So do you want to go through the Cape energy? We've already gone through the tornado energy and taking it more of a hour by hour approach. So take it away.
Yes, sure. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. And unfortunately, we are tracking once again this risk for strong damaging storms. And one of the main ingredients that we like to use to track how much potential these storms have to possibly gain strength and last for a long time this afternoon. This is called CAPE. This is basically potential energy that the storms could tap into. And we have a lot of that in store for today, that they're not going to have any issues feeding on all of the warmth and the moist air that we have coming in from the Gulf today. Notice that the highest that it goes, those bright yellows, that's exactly what we're seeing across much of central Mississippi for this afternoon, especially right around lunchtime. And that is when that line of storms is going to be moving into our area. And you can just kind of track that as we continue to see those storms kind of moving a little bit more towards the east. And that's where we also anticipate this particular system to get worse as it moves further east. So those of us in eastern Mississippi near the Meridian, Hattiesburg area as well, and then into parts of western Alabama, they have even greater potential to see this severe weather than we do, as that continues to kind of follow them out towards the east. But that is the good sign, though. Tonight, we don't have much potential energy, as that risk for severe weather pretty much ends after the sun goes down, and that system will be moving out towards our east. So this is not going to be a nocturnal event. I will say that is the silver lining with this system. But while the storms are here during the day, they're definitely not going to have any trouble tapping into all of that energy that we have out here in the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's the big issue. Yes, it's not going to be an overnight event, but it's also looking to be during the peak daytime heating hours, especially further off to the east. And again, we just talked about that. If you have friends or family in Hattiesburg, Meridian, Biloxi, over into Mobile, Birmingham, Montgomery, Demopolis, places further off into western Alabama, give them a call, give them a heads up. I know y'all are watching, but I want you to be aware that, look at this. I mean, this is a look at 7 a.m. So right now the energy is already there. It's just a matter of, will that boundary be getting closer to us? So we're looking for the driving factor right now for us early this morning, but it should be picking up from about 10 a.m. to all the way through the afternoon. So something to be mindful of for the rest of your day today.
I think the last our easternmost counties around 5 p.m., 4 to 5 is when they're going to be seeing those. But before we talk about this tornadic supercell potential, I liked how you were listing out cities and areas where you may have loved ones. And I think that another important thing to note is, I noticed waking up this morning, the high risk was extended further north, and that includes the Golden Triangle. So many people, they have children maybe at Mississippi State. We know Southern Miss also over in Hattiesburg, that's included. Those are important areas that many people care about. I know that a lot of us live in central Mississippi. You have loved ones that travel out to school. Spring break is ending. So if you know anyone that's at the W, at Mississippi State, at Southern, they're all included in this area that's high risk as well. So be sure that they know that if they think they're going to be traveling today, tell them, no, you're not.
Yeah, just
You don't
maybe wait a little bit longer, maybe just one more day of spring break. I know that a lot of kids will more than likely just want to get out of the house, go back home if they can, or go back to school, but just wait one more day. Again, I would 100% recommend just trying your best not to get out this afternoon. I don't want you to be caught in in any type of storm, but again, we look at a lot of energy throughout the day today. So I'm going to actually go forward, but again, we're looking at the highest energy from about 10 till all the way through the afternoon for some portions of central Mississippi. Further off to the east of I-20 or I-55, you're actually going to be getting those higher values more so during the peak daytime heating hours. So again, we'll see stuff really fire up here, but it's going to be more of a long track system. So anything that happens here could easily travel over into eastern Mississippi, northern Mississippi, western Alabama, back into north central Alabama. So we're looking at a good higher likelihood of seeing those very strong systems. The energy is just very potent. It's the perfect atmosphere for these storms to really have the dangerous long track tornadoes. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to scare you. I just want you to be prepared and have the knowledge that we are looking at a very dangerous situation for your day today.
That's really important to know. Also, I like that you mentioned the nature of these storms being long track. That does mean that if we have something start in our area, that could easily last because of all that cape that we showed you, that because of that energy that the storms are going to have pretty much an endless amount of at some parts of the day. If a supercell tries to touch down here in western Mississippi, that could potentially try to track across across the state. So we could see those storms lasting for a very long period of time with the type of potential that we have today. But that's not started yet here in our area. So here we have the storm checklist, which is an important thing to go over before we are in that area. I don't know if you've already done this so far.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Talk about the checklist, because it's, in my opinion, it's the most important thing to be prepared now while it's calm and we're not having to deal with the storms. You're not having to rush or do anything just right now. So it's very important that we go over this now while it's still a little quiet.
Absolutely. So the first thing on the checklist is stay aware. A perfect place to do that is with our WLBT3 weather app, and that's what the QR code here is for. And on there, I have a video saved explaining about where to take shelter. So it's all the details about where the worst places to be during a tornado warning, where the best places, and where in your home could be the safest room. That's an important thing to have. It's free for you there. We're going to give you updates when you have a warning. You'll get the notifications, and also when we have to do a live stream, which we're likely going to be wall to wall, you're going to get the notification for that live stream once our chief meteorologist Dave Roberts gets here. And then also charge up those devices, because you're not going to be able to watch if you don't have your phone or your iPad or your computer, whatever you're using. You want to have that charged, and then you want to charge your chargers as well. You want a portable charger in your ready to go bag. If you have a kit that you take with you when you take shelter, you want to have a charger in there, and probably have a charger for your charger, just that you can't be too prepared for these kinds of things. And once the warnings are issued, we mentioned taking shelter, know where to go. I have a video explaining that on the app, but also we can get into that now here as well. You want to be on the lowest floor in a well-built structure. So that's a permanent structure. You don't want to be in anything like an RV or a mobile home for this particular event. Whenever we have wind, it's just easier to knock those structures over. So while, on a typical day, those are very, very convenient places to live. I know a lot of people here in the South have those, but for today, whenever we have a potential for wind and tornadoes, you want to get out of the trailer. You want to get out of the mobile homes and out of the RVs, manufactured homes as well, and get to a permanent structure and on the lowest floor. So that also includes people in apartments. You want to get to the lowest floor possible, an interior room for this afternoon.
Yeah. And I actually wanted to say two things. So one thing about charging up your devices. We lose power here quite often to maybe the lightest breeze. I know a lot of people do complain about that often, is that we'll lose power to the single little breeze that comes in around 40 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, hey, my power's out. So we're expecting more widespread power outages into the day today if we do see that widespread severe threat. So I want you to be aware of that power could easily be lost as we go throughout the day today. So please charge up your devices now and just be prepared for that. And I also wanted to pull up this comment. So Savannah here said, Rankin County doesn't open the shelter until a watch is issued. That's true. And she asked, will a watch be issued in time for us to get to a shelter before it starts? the plan is more than likely we'll see a watch issued here in the next couple hours here for a lot of central Mississippi. They've already issued one for the lower Delta. And again, for it to open, it actually has to be that watch. But to be honest with you, they had it open last night, and I'm anticipating that they just probably kept it open, anticipating that we're all going to have very strong to severe storms for the rest of the day today.
And I'm thinking the watch would probably come sooner rather than later, because we already see over in Louisiana the storms are kicking off. North Mississippi also had a tornado warning,
still does,
in the last hour. It's still open. It's still, and we have that potential already. So I would anticipate probably before 9 a.m. Having a tornado watch here in central Mississippi as well. That was a great question.
Yeah, and Anae already went over this, but just one more time, try to find a basement, a storm shelter if you possibly can. I know we don't have basements too often down here in the South, and that's okay. If you don't have time to go to a local shelter, or if you don't have a shelter at home, you want to find the interior room or hallway away from windows. I know Anae also covered the next graphic. Man, you're just moving fast. But
yeah, I know for many homes that's a bathroom as well.
Yes.
Anything windowless, maybe a closet that's in the interior part of the house. Just know that try to get as many walls between you and the outdoor as possible. That's going to be the safest bet, and be sure no windows at all with this kind of event. But once again, the worst places, the worst options, you don't want to be in a mobile home today. You don't want to be in a vehicle. So try to stay put. Once you get towards wherever you're going to take shelter, stay there throughout much of the day, at least until around sunset, when that risk is over for us. But if you are outside underneath an overpass, that will be the worst place to be. But don't plan to be out there, because we're already ahead of time. Those of you watching, you're getting prepared. So there's no reason to be driving your cars out during a tornado warning. But if you are, you would look for a ditch, not a overpass or a bridge. That would be the worst option. Also, a bad place to be, large open rooms. So if you live near kind of a gym or a gymnasium, a coliseum, or we talked earlier about Walmart.
Yes.
Those are large open rooms. And basically the reason you don't want to be there, it's easier for those roofs to be kind of pulled off. If any structure is going to lose the top, it's going to be one of those first. And then also manufactured homes, similar to mobile homes, you don't want to necessarily be in one of those structures for a severe weather event. But good options are going to be the interior room. One more
thing. I wanted to, I had a lot of questions yesterday about raised homes in comparison to the mobile home. So I remember one lady asked me the difference in a mobile home and, raising your home on cinder blocks. Is that's listed as a manufactured home. So I want you to be aware of if your home is raised up, and still that's listed as manufactured housing, not necessarily a well-built home on a concrete slab. I want you to be aware of that. So again, you might not think, oh, well, my home's not a mobile home. But it's still maybe not the best type of housing. So a hotel is also a great option for, in comparison.
If you're on the lower floor.
On the lower floor of a hotel, I think that's much better than a mobile home. To be honest with you, anything is better than a mobile home, but you want to stay away from those large open rooms, like she was saying, and hotels, lowest floors aren't a bad option. I know, over in East Mississippi, my fiance's grandma is planning to go to the hospital. They live in a mobile home, and they're planning to go to the lower floor of the hospital for the day today. So, I mean, honestly, I think any option is significantly better than the mobile home. You just need to make sure that you're aware of where you're going and you have enough time. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't want to be driving while the storm is 5 seconds away from you. So that's really the biggest thing.
Right. And I think it's important to mention, I like how you pointed out concrete slab. So basically, I really don't like the wording when we say well-built homes, because there are many well-built mobile homes and manufactured homes. They're very nice to live in. But the issue is, it's just that you want to be anchored into the ground. You want a concrete slab, permanent foundation because of the wind. That's the only issue with the mobile homes for events like this, is because it's just easier to topple them over. And when you have other kinds of houses that are anchored into the ground, they have, I'm not a construction worker, but the concrete, the nails and all that, whatever they do to anchor it into the ground to build a permanent foundation, that's what adds that extra layer of protection in these kinds of events where we have tornadoes. So that's the only reason why they say that pretty much if it's on slabs or anything that's not, if it's semi-permanent, then that's not where you want to be. You want to be somewhere that is anchored into the ground with that concrete slab, that foundation that stays put for this type of event with this strong potential for tornadoes and wind. So now moving on to the good options. So we talked about well-constructed home. That basically just means a permanent home, something that has that concrete anchoring it into the ground. Brick houses often are included in this, but also basements. There's not as common, especially not towards our south, because if you get towards the coast, it's too wet to have a basement. But if you do happen to have one, that's a good idea to get into. But the best option is going to be a storm shelter, the kinds that you buy, the safe rooms that are specifically designed for tornadoes. Those are ideal. And also FEMA safe rooms that could include the community shelters, the domes that a lot of people have, that a lot of communities have, but also some do not. So it's important to call around and see, to go ahead and have a safe place to go before we happen to be under a warning. But
yeah, Google's a great place for that. And also that's all I had for the day. But if you want to pull that up,
I just noticed that graphic was not working as well as the other one. But it's pretty much the tornado potential. It's what we already went over earlier.
Yeah.
But
again, we're really going to be focused throughout the rest of the day today on making sure that you are well informed. Again, hopefully we're totally wrong. I really have been praying that I'm just totally wrong with this forecast and that it is just an absolute bust. But honestly, it's not looking like that. So I want to make sure that you're prepared for this, that you're not thinking that, oh, well, it's going to be fine. There's a chance it could fall apart. It's not looking like that, people. So make sure you are prepared as we go forward through the day today. Again, call your friends or family. Make sure that they have a plan and set in place. Again, I talked earlier about the one thing I love about Mississippi is if you don't know someone, you know someone who knows someone. So give those people a call. Give those people a heads up that, hey, this storm's coming. Because, again, y'all are watching me. Y'all are watching Nate right now. But are they? We don't know. So make sure that everyone that you know is staying updated, staying aware. This is looking to be a dangerous situation. It doesn't matter where you live, no matter what county you live in, what city you live in. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We are looking at a widespread threat for severe storms.
That's a good point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the level 5 out of 5 extends all the way to the southern part of Lee County. So that's a lot of the state, and even out in Alabama as well. So just like Chase was saying, that's really important that if you know that you have a loved one who may not have heard so far, they might not have got the news that we could see a potential tornado outbreak, be sure to be that person that calls them and lets them know to go ahead and look out, because we do have also the research has shown that impacts a lot of people when it comes to what makes people take shelter. Getting a call from a loved one does help save lives. So if you know what's going on with the weather and you know someone that doesn't, be sure to spread the word and let them know, especially if they're under a warning. But pretty much anyone that you have here in the Southeast, especially in the Twin States right now, just go ahead and give them a call. If you haven't spoken to them about the weather, just stay weather aware, because you have the potential for some damaging storms this afternoon and later in the morning as well. But.
And again, we're going to be keeping you updated throughout the rest of the day today. We'll have team coverage here on WLBT. You can watch us online or on air, and stay aware, please, as the day continues. Make sure you do have a secondary way to watch. If you normally just watch on TV, maybe have a laptop close by, your phone, where it's best. So please make sure y'all stay safe today. I'll try my best to answer any questions throughout the rest of the morning. Again, I'll try my best. I won't be able to get to everyone, and I just want to make sure that y'all try your best to stay safe, stay weather aware into the day, and just have a great rest of your day. Be safe, everyone. And hopefully y'all don't see my face again into the rest of the day. But if you do, just know that I'm going to try my best to make sure that y'all are staying protected as well. So,
and we're going to have Dave and Elise is on schedule.
Yes.
And also Ted and the Storm Tracker.
Todd. Yes, Todd. I was
Todd.
going to say Ted's the big boss. I don't think he'll be out there.
No. Todd. Meteorologist Todd. It's team coverage. So we're all going to be here with you. We're all in this together. We're going to be tracking. You're going to see a lot of faces, a lot of meteorologists' faces. Just know that we are watching this all day. We're going to be watching like hawks. I know Dave said that yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm watching like a hawk.
Yeah.
That's what we're all going to be doing. It's team coverage, and we're all going to get through this.
Yeah. Be safe, everyone. And again, we are trying our best not to scare you. We just want to make sure you're prepared. And again, be safe, everyone. And again, we'll be talking to y'all later. Hopefully we will all get through this together, and we'll be able to enjoy the beautiful weather into the day tomorrow. So be safe, and we'll talk to y'all later.